Hello, friends. Can driving be mindful? We usually think of driving as an activity that gets us from point A to point B, but sometimes it can be so mindless that we feel like we're on autopilot. Hello, I'm Dr. Renee Harmon. I'm the author of Surfing the Waves of Alzheimer's. It's a teaching memoir about my husband Harvey and his time with younger onset Alzheimer's disease. I've recently written and spoken about the realization that I've made that mindfulness was one of the gifts that Harvey received from his illness. But today I want to tell you about a recent experience I had with intense mindfulness. I recently drove the Tail of the Dragon. The Tail of the Dragon is an 11-mile stretch of U.S. Highway 129 between Tennessee and North Carolina. It has 318 curves, many of them hairpin, and many of them I later learned are named. It's a destination for motorcycles and sports cars. I bought a used Mazda Miata 5 years ago, and ever since I've had it, people have been telling me I needed to take it to drive the Tail of the Dragon. Well, when I got there, I realized that it indeed was a destination for Mustangs and motorcycles and Miatas. There were no motorcycles, there were no RVs or 18-wheelers. There were Harley stores and motorcycle hangouts on either end of this stretch of highway. As I got there, it felt like I was entering an amusement park for vehicles, a roller coaster for those of us with fun-to-drive wheels. Now, I've had the car for 5 years, and I have driven on curvy mountain roads, and it's a blast. I love it. But I was still a little intimidated by the Tail of the Dragon because of its reputation as a destination drive. But I entered it, and it was great. Now, I can't tell you anything about the specifics of this drive. I can't tell you about elevation changes or how I maneuvered any of the curves or how I set them up. I have no memory of that because I was so engaged in just driving. Now, I have memory of flashes of wildflowers, a few road signs, and photographers. There were professional photographers set up along the way with those huge camera lenses trained on each car as it came by, and it made me feel famous for the split second that I could notice them. But really, all I could do was drive. I was totally immersed in the driving experience. I was honed in on my car and the road. I was fully engaged with my mind and my eyes and my ears and my sense of location in space. It sounds cliched, but I felt merged with my tiny toy car as we encountered each curve and bank on the highway. My instincts to brake or accelerate or make minute changes in steering were just spot on. There was no time to be scared or anxious. I could only drive. Here was mindfulness on steroids. And it made me think that there are times in our lives where we move so fast that we can't slow down and enjoy everything around us. Sometimes our lives come at us so fast and we are thrown curves. So what if we approach these times in our lives in this kind of mindful manner, aware of each of the curves, aware of our instincts and how we maneuver the curves, and also being aware that so aware of our surroundings and the people with us that we merge with them, not in a weird controlling way, but if we have common goals, that we become merged and manifest those goals. So the next time that your life comes at you really fast, instead of getting on that 6-lane freeway and setting cruise control, consider taking back roads and noticing each of the curves and noticing how you react to them. Because getting from point A to point B is a lot more interesting if you're alert and engaged, even if you're moving quickly. Thank you. Be well and keep your balance and drive safe.